Alright, how's it going, everybody? This is Ismortah, and this evening during my Friday 7 p.m. Central board game stream, gonna be showing you finally, some more Memoir 44 goodness. In this case, I'm gonna be showing you the expansions that I did finally decide to commit because there's so many cool things, so many cool miniatures, and so many cool ways you can experience World War II with this game that I went and got the Pacific Theater and the Mediterranean Theater. Now, I actually got several other expansions, so expect those, actually some more expansions in my next stream on Monday. But here I'm showing you an unboxing of the Pacific Theater and Mediterranean Theater expansion packs. They call these, what do they call them? No, they call them expansion packs. But they're kind of like expansion, kind of like treasure chests. They're all the expansions kind of built the same way. You open this chest and you get a whole bunch of goodness. You get some cards, you get some tiles, and you get a bunch of plastic. Which is the coolest part about it, to be honest. But it's cool having different ways to play, or like getting the landmarks and tiles to actually match the environment you're in is fun too, to be immersive. Like, hey, you know, you have hills in a foresty area, or you actually have desert roads on a desert map. So it's, and I'm all about the immersion. And of course, if you like what you see, be sure to follow here on twitch.tv/Ismortah. And if YouTube's more your thing, you can expect the video up in 24 hours on YouTube at Shadow Balance Games. Cool. So yeah, this unboxing, I'm not going to the meta of how to play or any of that jazz, just to show you what cool stuff you get in these boxes if you pursue. And what's cool is you can just get the theater you're interested in. It's like, if you don't really care about the Mediterranean, don't get it. But if you're all up, hey man, I want to have a battle with the Japanese, and maybe even incorporate like a new flight plan or something, well, boom, there you go. It's up in Acros TV. Tanks, yeah, boom, this could be tanks. And as you'll see, there'll also be artillery and some troops as well. So, Pacific Theaters could be my fave, so we're going to do that one last. I know, what a tease. But let's do Mediterranean Theater. It's on the back. This kind of gives a little preview. Don't worry about trying to read the minutia, because I'm going to show you shit anyway. But yeah, you get a bunch of tiles, all desert themed, and some other objectives, and of course, what do they call the cards that are handed out? Anyway, more cards to play with. But yeah, you also get, most importantly, plastic. Like here you see British infantry. Here you have a 25-pound gun. And then a Crusader tank. Very cool. All right, so let's open this up and see what is inside. I actually got these and the other ones I'm going to show you later, expansions, a while ago. I was just trying to find time in my schedule to show these. I just had other things happening. Right. And I recommend keeping these boxes just because they're good for storing the tiles and plastic also. If they're like other ones, they're neatly stored. So I do recommend that. That way you keep all the different scenarios separate. Yeah, there we go. The outer wrap looks different, but all of the core, this box looks exactly the same for each expansion, which I'm sure made it easier to print. And it's kind of cool. It's kind of like you open a chest. All right, so you got this fat book, which I will go through the pages, but don't worry about trying to read it because I'm not going to flip that slow. But this has not only how to play different things, which we'll get into, but as you see, it also has a bunch of different maps. And no, you don't actually play this little map. This shows you how to set it up. So if you have different scenarios, use different units. Most of them use stuff from here. But some of these missions, like other Memoir 44, also include some things from other places as well, either the core game or other additional expansions. So you have a lot of new content, even if you have some of the stuff already. Like, for example, this has a breakthrough map. So if also we're playing breakthrough, this says how to play on a breakthrough map with these forces. All right, so there's that. We also have a second book. What the shit? Is it another language? Or, yeah, this looks like, or is it more maps? No, this looks like the other language. This is probably French, if I were to guess. All right, so here we have, you can see how they organize all the stuff. So see, they have a pretty cool container you can use to store all your plastic. This is all plastic and tiles, so I just recommend using these to store them anyway. It's pretty nice. All right, so here we have tiles and some other punch for showing like either roads or ponds and shit. Of course, all the terrain has special rules in the game, which vary depending on what you're doing. Being in the desert, I'm sure there may be some rules involving heat and stuff like that too. All right, so here, let's see what we got here. Looks like we got, they look like kind of like debris. Got 4 of these. Kind of looks like a junk heap. I'm sure the book will say more what the hell this is. But these are things you place on the map. We also got some tokens, which are either used for medals or to identify different types of units or statuses, I'm sure. I don't know off the top of my head what they mean, but I'll give you a look-see. So they have like different medals, different sides. The fact that they have, a lot of these have the same back makes me think like maybe it's like you reveal, try to see what you find or something. But this looks like different medals and units that you deploy. Second bag of that stuff as well. And by all means, don't worry, this isn't gonna be a long stream. This is unboxing, I just want to show you what you get in each one. So no worries there either. I'm not gonna talk your or my head off. Here's some more tokens. Again, I don't know their meanings off the top of my head, but you probably know. Just some numbers, different flags. Oh, look at that. What's that say? I don't know what that says. Arctung Mines? Oh, it's like a minefield. Oh, cool. So maybe this has mines on some of these maps too. Minefields. Oh, that's dirty. We'll go ahead and jump to some of this plastic, see what we got here. I didn't realize there'd be some gray plastic in here too. That's pretty cool. Oh, this kind of looks like a mortar? A mortar, possibly? We got 3 of these. Sorry, I think it's trying to focus on the words. Get those out of frame. There we go. It looks like a mortar. I think that's what it is. Here, you got 3 of those. Then we'll take a look at these tiles. Let me just check right quick just to make sure. I keep forgetting to check the sound at the very beginning. Like, I'm sure it sounds good because I'm not using my webcam, but just be sure. Cool. All right. All right, so let's take a look at some tiles. Yeah, I can see the fact that it's the same size of tiles is just good for storing stuff. Alright, open this up. So the tiles don't make up the map. It's not like you're playing Twilight Imperium. You play on a map, the tiles just add flavor to the map. You're either adding like hills or roads or rivers and obstacles to the map you're looking at. So you kind of can make that space whatever you want. But it's not like you're playing bumper cars with tiles, because you're not, because you are playing on a map. All right, so here's a bunch of tiles, and they are double-sided, just so you're aware. I'll just do a quick flip through because there's a lot. You kind of get the gist. So you got some, looks like these are hills, oasis, road. It's like a canyon, some houses. That's more of like a town. Just to get a couple variants, see that's like a kind of like forested area. But then you're like, oh, well, is there more variety? Yeah, there is, because it's actually double-sided. So when you look inside, you have different shapes of roads they can use to make different like highways. A lot of different just dirt roads here. You get the gist. Actually, the gist you get here is it's one side obstacle or terrain feature, other side's a road. So if you're looking for roads, you don't have to because they're all roads. All right, so I'm opening the other stack. Oh, that's cool. This is kind of like sand dunes. That's pretty cool. That's actually really pretty. That's kind of hard to pull off, and they did a really great job. This look like a dune of sand. That's pretty good. That's really fucking good, actually. Ooh, and that just looks like it's like barren sand. That's kind of cool. I'm sure I'll say in the book exactly what they are, and like these all probably have special rules to clarify, but let's see what's on the other side. You got some other terrain features. You got some, looks like shore, either a river or maybe the ocean. Some hills, some more sand dunes. Et cetera, et cetera. All right, so now let's get to the goods. So like I said, I don't want this to be a long stream, but I do want to flip through the book and at least get a gist on what it offers. All right, so this is all plastic. Look at that. That is a lot of forces. So this should just be all British forces is what it's adding. These look like mortars, but they're gray, so it makes me think like maybe like if any unit uses mortar, but like I said, the game will tell you. I'll tell you where you place a mortar, and if there's any sort of modifier, that's probably one of these tokens also to say like what faction that is. Like they might be German mortars or something. Considering it's gray, that's kind of what I'm thinking. But you know about me, like I've just been a real fan of getting into the plastic side of hobby games, and it is fun playing with the plastic. Let's try to get in this box. The box is a lot of tape. Okay, so this looks like how it's organized is it had all the troops in the bottom tray, but then it had wells for all of the other units. But this is kind of like a hot mess, and I don't think it really matters. You can probably just throw it in the box. That's probably what I'm going to do, because it does a lot. So this looks like I just have a ton of the same type of unit, which is this infantry. And just to show again, you get a ton of it. Now I'll get out the tanks and other stuff. All right, here it looks like these are the artillery. Looks like you get 6. Is a little pack. Artillery guns. Anti-tank. See? And then lastly, before I show you what's in the book, a ton of tanks. I'll just show you how many tanks, and then I'll do a close-up on tanks, so that you get all those tanks, a lot of tanks. Maybe it's like 15 tanks, 15, 20, a lot of tanks. I'm sure it's divisible by 3, I would imagine. Yeah, man, it's fucking cool. Look at that. Dun, 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 dun. And it's not like they cheap you on the bottom because they figure you're not going to see it. Like, it's cool miniature detail all around, man. It's pretty awesome. I know, like, when you get the core game, when there's, like, other factions fighting stuff, they use, you know, fucking tokens like this just so you can play the game. But, man, it's more fun when you can see what the fuck it is. It's fucking cool. So, yeah, shit ton of tanks. And artillery, and infantry, and like I said, I didn't expect to see these too, but you also get some, what looks like bazookas. Alright, so what is in the booklet? Oh yeah, it's show you right here. You can see, like, you look at the symbol here, English, French. There you go. Alright. So just so you're aware of context, Operation Overlord maps are maps that go more long ways because it's the same width, but you have more map space horizontally. That way you can have your friends play because it's based on, like, you're the supreme commander and you have 2 lieutenants that you give orders to, and it's a team game, 3v3. Whereas Breakthrough is just kind of what it sounds like, is you're trying to get as far as you can. So instead of a long horizontal map, these are vertical maps, like they go out, so that you have longer to traverse to get to the enemy side instead of being close combat right when you start, like a typical maps. So some of these maps in here will be for Breakthrough, Memoir, core game, and probably also introduce some elements from other expansions as well, which I'm sure is to tease you to get them, but also so you can do cool stuff with all the things that you have. All right, so I'm not going to go through all the minutia because this is an unboxing video, not a how to play. Okay, they're called ergs and ridges. All right, I was close. They look like sand dunes, but... And this is like a sandy hill is actually what it is. Flat sand is probably just having none of these tiles. Oh, airfield. That's cool. Supply tents, oasis, forests. And you see they all have unique rules and so on and so forth. I'm not going to go through all the minutia, but I'll quickly just show you so you could pause the screen and read for yourself at your own pace. Let's see, you got Wadis. Wadis? I'm not sure what that is. I'm going to have to Google what the fuck that is. It's some sort of terrain feature. All right, so then it looks like they got additional rules for Commonwealth, for the Italian Royal Army, the North African Desert, just rules in general. Like, for example, this talk about on a successful close combat assault, an ordered army unit may move into a vacated hex and may then move in 1 additional hex, and it may then battle again. So you got some unique rules for being in desert spaces. This goes into some minutia on how these different units play. Anti-tank gun, okay, bazooka and mortar, same shit. Metals, minefields, exit markers. I'm not sure what that is, but maybe you win if you're able to get to a certain part on the map. New obstacles. Yeah, oh, okay, that's a roadblock. That's what that is. It looked like a scrapyard. But then you got some stuff like combat engineers and some unique scenarios and unique rules you can play with. Then here you have a whole bunch of different maps. So I'm just going to quickly go through it. You got the Hellfire Pass, Airfield, and this basically just tells you how to set it up, where do you place units, how many different things you're putting on the map, and on the right side it's telling you special rules for that encounter and also historically about the encounter. So you can learn shit and have fun too. Yeah, a ton of maps. Boom. Yep, and that is this expansion in a nutshell. Again, this is Mediterranean theater, so if you're all about desert warfare, then this may just be for you. I'll put this away later. But yeah, regardless of how you sort this, or whether keep this plastic box or not, which this I kind of don't recommend. It's a heaping pile of shit. But being able to organize all the tiles, I do recommend this. You could just throw all the plastic in here anyway, which is probably what I'm going to do. Let's move on to the next theater of war, which is one of my faves, which is Pacific Theater. Only because you also have sea warfare, air warfare, grunt warfare. Now in Memoir 44, you don't necessarily have ship combat, but you do have air-to-air combat and air-to-ground combat, which is pretty cool. All right, so I'm just gonna take a quick break, 30 seconds to get some water. But be sure, also if you like what you see, to follow here on twitch.tv/Ismortah. And if you're interested in supporting the cause and the channel, you could also find me on patreon.com/Ismortah. Updates to the content and schedule you can find on Twitter @ShadowBalance. And of course, check out YouTube as well @ShadowBalanceGames. All right, one down, one to go. All right, so next one up is Memoir 44 Pacific Theater. Boom. Same drill. You get a bunch of new rules, new tiles, new cards you can play. Actually, cards you can play. Yeah, now I think about it, the previous expansion didn't give you any additional cards. It gave you units to field, but it actually didn't give you any additional cards like some of the other expansions that I had shown. That were adding like more ways to play. This is more adding the units that you can play with. But it did add more maps. So it did have more rules and maps, just no additional cards. Okay, so what this one adding is, if it's similar to Suit, it's adding more tiles, more rules, and more importantly, the miniatures. This is adding 75mm AA guns for shooting down those nasty planes, the light tank Hago tanks of Japanese, and of course Japanese infantry as well. This is basically giving you stuff you need to play as other factions. That's what it's doing. Whereas some expansions add more rules, some add more tiles, some add what was it, like Winter Wars, like more cards you can play with if you're doing Winter Warfare. This depends what the add-on is. All right, so let's see what's in the box. Here we go. Same deal. This is a sleeve, but the inside looks the same. But what's cool is the sleeve also prevents it from opening, but you can see it's the same box as before. This one, kind of same deal. Looks like you got 2 books. Oh, you got 3 books. What's going on here? So you have the English rules, you have French rules, if that's your thing. And then here you got some sort of tracker, it looks like, of different visibilities. So this looks like when you're playing the game, are you flying at night maybe, or flying in daytime, and maybe there's different visibility and ranges, possibly. So that's interesting. Let's see what that's all about. It looks like just a different language on each side. But yeah, it looks like it's a visibility tracker. So you can track time of day. Now what's cool is, I don't know if this is just unique to playing certain maps here, but that means maybe potentially you can even add time of day to multiple maps. We'll see. All right, so what else you got? You have, similar to the other one, you got a bunch of tiles, markers you can play, identifiers for things to do on the map, as well as medals. Oh, it looks like some of the markers you have are battleships, so that's pretty cool. And then we have plastic. All right, so I've already showed you this, so that'd be interesting. You have a daylight tracker. So that's a thing. Again, I recommend keeping this box for organizing and the plastics, just throw it together. All right, so for the cardboard, looks like we got some things here. First of all, looks like we got some different types of ships on the map. This looks like a battleship or a destroyer. Got 2 of those. And then you also have a carrier for launching and landing your planes, but maybe it's double-sided. It is. So maybe the stuff like, if you can't see it, you don't know what's there or something. I don't know. But there is a unknown side to the other piece. And you have, looks like a drawbridge, maybe. All right, and it looks like we've got a bunch of medals and other small markers here, similar to the other expansion. I don't know what they mean, but I'll show you what you get. All right, so it looks like we got some symbols, look like this guy. Looks kind of like a palace or a castle. Flame. Got some numbered ones here. Mines, so we got minefields. So it looks like imperial looking metals here. And then you have another stack of those as well. And if you're like, hey, how come Ismortah doesn't know what it is? I don't know, because I don't fucking know. I have never seen this before. I've never played it. I don't know all this shit means. That's why it's fucking cool. And this also is expansion. You're adding shit to the game. And you could choose, you know, what map you want to play with. And there's also a bunch of additional rules, which you can choose whether you want to play with them or not. So you have options, ways to add flavor to the game. All right, so you got some more different metals and shit. This probably indicates artillery, maybe. More metals, maybe being able to be targeted by something. Yeehaw. Cool. Being able to track different things. All right, now I'll show you the terrain. using this little terrain makes me think like I'm playing Carcassonne or something. Which makes me wonder if Days of Wonder also made Carcassonne, because that would kind of fit the bill, wouldn't it? Have you using very small tiles? Maybe. I do not remember. Also, I've never played the game either. I've just seen it played. God. Fucking plastic has like stacked electricity. Can't get it off my person. All right, so remember, Pacific Theater, so we're going to see a lot of jungles and potentially the sea. So let's see what we got here. We got some jungles. A lot of jungles. Jungles! It's probably equivalent to roads on the Mediterranean maps. Then the other side, we have roads, airports. Of course, a lot of airports because we have a lot of fighters. Looks like a ditch, honestly. River. That's interesting. Oh, yeah, it's like the beach, the mouth of a river. That looks like a farm. Little bridged river. Wait, I thought there were 2 tiles. Wait, what? Oh, here it is. Yes, if you're liking what you see, be sure to tune in Monday for more expansion reveal. All right, so here's some more. You have, looks like hills. I was gonna say, wait, it's pyramids? Houses? I was like, oh shit, the pyramids. Some more hills or mountains. I think that's more of a hill and that's more of a mountain. So different elevations. Towns. Hills. Hey, maybe your troops can heal there. That's pretty cool. I wouldn't be surprised. At the hospital. Looks like a beach. That is a, what the fuck is that? That's a rocky hill. So that's probably has like bad terrain to cross. Clearings and difficult terrain. What is that? That's weird. That white looks like it's almost like an impression, like it's like a ditch even. Let's see what that is in the booklet. Yep, so that's all the train tiles. Now I'll show you the plastic. Plastique. So again, it's all in this tray when it comes, but when you open it, it's kind of a hot mess. So what I'd recommend is either you just dump all the shit in here to store, or you can throw in the box, who cares? But if you don't mind this just bouncing around, you could just throw it in here to keep all together. So yeah, to each his own. They kind of have it situated though so that these are in compartments, the tanks are in a compartment, and the troops are all in one, but in all reality, it's like, who the fuck cares? Just keep them all together. You know? Especially by faction. So, you know, don't mix the Japanese with the British, but have them separate. All right. Yeah, I mean, I guess I opened it better this time. I mean, there is, I guess, sure, a tray. So, I guess, not sure it's worth the hassle. All right, so here's the bed of infantry. I'll say there's a fucking lot. I'll show you one in close. Little. All right, it's doing the same thing it did last time. It's trying to focus on words. Doesn't know what to focus on. There you go. Little troop. So yeah, shit ton of infantry. Then you get, looks like 6 AA guns. Shoot down those pesty, you know, English fighters or dive bombers. And then you got a lot of columns of tanks. These look pretty cool. I like how different tanks look different. Fucking cool, man. Fucking cool. Again, the details all around. So you got a ton of these. Columns. Like to say, columns of tanks. I'll show it to you again. You got an army. All right, so now let's see what is in the booklet. And then we'll call that a stream. So on the back, looks like it's telling you that, you know, you got, you know, what you get, the types of tanks and troops, and a little bit about their history, which is pretty cool. Let's see what we got here. Let me tell you a story. All right, so here's telling you about, again, what all the new landmarks is. You know, beaches, mountains, hills, hospitals, jungles, labor camps. That doesn't sound healthy. Villages, etc., etc. Oh, that pier, sure. Rice paddies, okay. Fish ponds. Now I want to see, what was that one hill that had the white? Oh, a mountain cave. Oh, I was supposed to say, what's that indicating? Okay. Got it. And see, they have like paragraphs of rules. So, I mean, like, you're adding some, like, get as complex as you want. New rules, it's all over the place. Like, there's certain different tactics like the Japanese forces can do. Like, here you have Yamato concept, the Shinsen doctrine. These are like different maneuvers you can do in different situations. Then there's command rules also for Marine forces. To say, you know, how stuff behaves, and you can attack at night. Here it's sure enough, so you can have different visibility and things that happen at night. Minefields again. You can have camouflage. You can play with destroyers. They have different ranges on shooting from the beach. That's pretty cool. They should just make models out of the fucking ships. Aircraft carriers. And again, some of these tokens they use not only to indicate metals, but also like different types of units, or to indicate special types of forces in battle. Like, for example, flamethrower tanks, etc. And then you got a bunch of other maps. Like here's Wake Island. And these maps also tell you if they're, again, if they're also, are they original maps or are they breakthrough or overlord, I mean. Guadalcanal. A lot of maps. I mean, a lot of maps. So it's like you're not just getting units to play with, you're getting more scenarios to play with and more rules. So a lot of stuff. Like, for example, this is a obviously an overlord map. It's so long, I would imagine. The meat grinder. Sugarloaf and Half Moon. Okinawa. That actually looks kind of interesting. Each side has artillery and troops. One side has tanks. It's kind of interesting. Cool. Boom. Pacific Theater. So yeah, again, both It depends on your flavor. You don't have to get one or the other. But if you had also Operation Overlord, playing too much Destiny 2, or Breakthrough, there's additional maps to play with. If you have new flight plan, I know some of the maps it introduces also uses Pacific Theater, for example. So stuff like that. There's a little bit of crossover too if you have other stuff as well. Well played. Well, no, that's it in a nutshell. Thanks for watching. Expect more expansion stuff for Memoir, which the last stuff I got for Memoir 44 this Monday. I don't have everything, but yes, I have practically everything. At least all the plastic anyway. It is fun. Cool. Well, thanks for watching. Again, this is Ismortah, and I will catch you next time. Go check it out at your local store.